And we are live. Thank you everyone for joining this live Q&A with Jeremy Gray and Enrique de Alvear of Pilar Gold. Bit of housekeeping first. We are here to answer your questions, so please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box right next to this video. But Jeremy, before we dive into that, why don't we start with an overview of what Pilar Gold is all about before we go into the updates with Enrique?
Yeah, great, Stein. Thank you everyone for joining us on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning or evening where you are. I got to say there's a huge air of excitement around Pilar Gold, massive excitement on site at PGDM, our wonderful management team, Israel Oliveira, Richard Crew, Dr. Carlos. We're also bringing some very seasoned management team back and staff, Marcelo da Silva, Rafael Franco just joined us this week, our old CFO, of course, Juliana Katrim. So we're building our team on site like it was before and bringing everyone back to Itapasi, coming home. We're also buying a lot of brand new fleet. We've bought 2 brand new 307 LHDs from China, from JCHX and Tempest, 5 fan drills and jumbos from Sotrek and Reziman. But as part of all of this massive comeback, because I see Pilar Gold really might just be one of the great comebacks in gold mining history after we were in the depths of despair 2 years ago. As part of that comeback, we've decided also to bring in a young gun, exciting CEO, Enrique de Alvear, to take my role. And Enrique's just took the role on 3 weeks ago, and I'm already seeing dramatic impact of his management style. Enrique is a private equity guy. He comes from the famous Starboard Capital Partners team in Sao Paulo and Madrid. So he's done his apprenticeship, and we felt now's the right time to bring on a professional like Enrique to bring Pilar back to greatness. And that's where we're going. We're going back to greatness, and a lot of exciting things. But I'll hand it over to Enrique now. And please submit your questions, and we're very much open to anything you want to ask. We'll definitely answer that. Enrique, welcome and congratulations, mate, on your appointment as CEO.
Well, thank you very much, Jeremy. It is indeed very exciting. We are projecting the greatest comeback in the mining industry, right? In the last few years, at least. Just to remind everyone here, we're just getting an asset back to production, 40,000 ounces per year in the short medium term to 80,000 ounces per year in the long term. I mean, this is quite exciting. First of all, let me thank again Stein for having me again in his channel. And this is not something that we believe is going to be easy, in the sense that there is no work to do. There is a lot of work to do, and I'm really happy that we have all the whole team back, seasoned professionals that know what needs to be done, and all of the support from our shareholders that make us thrive through these, let's say, hard times back in the day. And right now they're even more excited than I am, trying to take advantage of this current market environment at the moment. So, Jeremy, yes, Pilar is in very great shape. And Stein, I'm more than happy to answer all the questions that your viewers might have.
Excellent, and we certainly have a few questions lined up, so excited to dive into that. Again, a bit of housekeeping. Please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box right next to this video. We are here to go through your questions. So perhaps a first one I will submit it before we went live, Jeremy. Dear Jeremy, one thing would be good to explain is how you manage the hub and spoke model regarding grade control and the plant grade and metallurgy.
I think that might have come from one of our longest investors, Charlie Morgan, in Bath in the United Kingdom, because he was on to me about that this morning. But he's absolutely right. We're blessed with 3 underground mines. Pilar number 1 mine. We have Maria Lazarus 8 kilometers away. We have Kaima 40 kilometers away, and we also have the world-class Tres Bracas deposit, which is at least 400,000 ounces. That's only 3 kilometers from the mill, and the key is to blend. So at the moment, it's not an issue in that, because all of the feeds come in from Pilar number 1. We need to dewater Maria Lazara, so that won't come on stream until effectively middle of next year, and then Kaima will be later next year. But the big one is Tre Baracus, because when Tre Baracus, you're moving from historically what is a purely underground business to a world-class open pit business, and that's when there shouldn't be any recoveries on the mill. The recoveries we believe will still be around 92%, and it's really just now picking and choosing what we regard as the best feed to optimize and get to that 80,000 ounce a year target that Enrique was telling you about. It's a good question.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeremy. Next question we have is from Paul. Morning. Seems the closing of the capital raise has been delayed. Earlier it was 18th of May and then 30th of May. What is the issue? Thank you.
There's actually no issue. The issue is actually that the demand has been incredible. We put it to the board yesterday. We will increase the size from 5 million Canadian to 10 million. I want to thank everyone for the amazing support. We do need that money for the restart and to do it properly this time. So no delay at all. We've just come off a very successful raise with Pure Tungsten. We were looking for 5 and we raised 15. Obviously Gold Road was a tremendous raise in Arizona. This one, we weren't expecting it to be this strong a demand, but obviously when you price a raise at 30 cents, it implies a value of only 140 million Canadian. And importantly, when if you strip out Pilar Gold stakes in first, we own 33% of this beautiful royalty company, Chancery Royalty, which it will be $1 billion company over the next 12 months. That's Pilar owns 12.5 million shares at $3 a share, and that I think that's going to go a lot higher. We also own a big stake in Liver Gold in Finland, and I don't know if you've heard this, but Liver's commencing trading on June the 17th on the CSE in Canada, and I think it'll come out the gates at $2 to $3 a share at least. So stripping those two large holdings that Pilar Gold own, we're valuing the 30-cent round at just $12 per ounce of gold resource, because we've got 4 million ounces that will valued at $1,650 or modeled at $1,650. So an extremely low valuation for a fully built operation. $12 an ounce. I don't think you'd even find a Explorer at $12 resource ounce. Most producers are at $400-500 an ounce. So yeah, I think if that's a long answer to a question. Just been blown away by the response. We've opened it up to take it to 10 million, and we believe it's the right time to give Enrique, to give the team the capital they need to really make this a great success. And so thank you everyone for their support.
So, Jeremy,
Appreciate it, Jeremy.
Stein, if I may compliment to Jeremy's answer here. Also, we believe that increasing the amount to be subscribed for this financing round would allow us to accelerate a ramp up in order to get to the 80,000 ounces per year sooner, right? It's just a matter of balancing all of our tools of sources of capital right now, and we believe we can go in a full throttle mode in order to reach this goal earlier than expected. So. Exciting times again this time.
Appreciate the additional color there, Enrique. Perhaps we can keep you in the seat. We have a question from Gregorio. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. What is the locals' general view regarding the mine, and what is the risk of crime/organized crime in the area?
In the area, actually, there's two very good things about the mine itself. First of all, it's pretty close to a village called Itapasi, so it's not lost in the jungle. It's a very well urbanized and accessible mine. So in terms of logistics, it's pretty secure. Of course, we have all of our security teams in place in all of our mines. The main complex at PGDM, which is the one that contains the processing plant and the access to Pilar Mine. Also to get to the tailings dam area, to Maria Lazara, Tres Buracos, and Cayamar, which is farther. So it shouldn't be a problem, but again, we take every single measure that we can.
Perfect. Thank you. Then we have the next question lined up from Ferronson. What are the key technical and financial risks that could prevent Pilar Gold from reaching its 80,000 ounce a year production target on schedule?
Okay, so he said technical and financial, actually.
Yeah, it was indeed technical and financial risks.
Okay. So about technical, as Jeremy said, right now PGDM complex has 4 mines, right? 3 underground called Pilar, Maria Lázara, and Cayamar, an open pit project called Tres Buracos. So basically, the only technical risk is the ramp up of production to get all of these 4 mines into production. Once they're all into production and fully developed, we can ensure that that an 80,000 ounces per year of production is achieved. Just to remind everyone here in the chat, Pilar Gold was produced almost 72, I think it was 72,000 ounces during the year 2017. So it's not that far of a goal without counting on Tres Buracos project. Tres Buracos project, it's very good because it's very close to the mine, and it also allows the plant to be processing ore 24/7, right? So it's one of the key parts of the project. And about financials, I would say one of the main things right now that the company has to face is the acquisition of the equipment. I think Jeremy can also provide a little bit more of information about that. Pilar mine is ready, right? It's there's some requisites from the mining authority that there are some works that are currently underway at mine. Maria Lázara needs to be dewatered. This needs capital, but it's something that it's very much achievable. And Cayamar needs a little bit more of development, including the rethinking of the logistics and the routes, because we believe it can be more efficient, and we can even consider the installation of pre-processing facilities on site in Cayamar. As Jeremy said, it's 40 kilometers away, so we believe we can even reduce the cash cost of Cayamar. So these are basically the main financial risks for the mines themselves. On the other side, the plant is fully taken care of. Our 50 plus staff is in charge of the maintenance of the plant, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's just a matter of getting all of the pieces together in this time period in order to start production in September, October.
Excellent. And of course, the more aware you are of where the risks are, the better you can mitigate that. So great to be on top of that for sure. Jeremy, we got a comment from SQ7944. Maneko64 speaks highly of your project. Jeremy, perhaps you can shortly touch base on your relationship with Mario, how that came to be, and of course his role with Chancery Royalties and Pilar Gold.
Oh yeah, that's a great question. And Mario, look, we've all been massive fans of Mario for years. I just cold called Mario back in January, knew that he was in town, and we had a coffee, and I said, look, I could not imagine a better member of the board for Chancery Royalty. He's a man of great judgment, wisdom, speaks 5 languages, Austrian School of Economics, born and bred, and what a tremendous addition he's been to our team. And we're so excited actually to be bringing Mario back to Pilar. It's probably going to be middle of July. We're just finalizing the date now, and that invitation's open to everyone on this call to join us. And Mario's actually his first trip back to Brazil in 14 years. He's going home. And we can't. He's never been to Goiás actually, and so we're very excited to show Mario around Maneko64. And I just love working with Mario. He's a great man of honor. He does what he says, and very happy that he's really part of our corporate team now as well. And I think it's hopefully helped him a little bit in that it gives a different perspective, because obviously Mario talks a lot about the demand side of gold, about the inflation side of gold. We're from the supply side of gold, and there's been no supply. Like, to raise money for gold mines from 2012 to 2024, was next to impossible for guys in the industry. We bought 4 gold mines in that period from 2021 to 2025. We bought Pilar mine in 21. We bought Alvear mine in Finland in 22. The beautiful Tucano mine in 23, and I was there the other day. That's listing in the Canadian exchange as Amateur Minerals next month, and then Gold Road in Arizona. And I think it's kind of crazy to think that our group are bringing 4 new gold mines on in the industry, where there's probably only 10 or 15 coming on worldwide in these next 12 months. So hopefully it's given Mario a bit of perspective that there's very little supply, at a time when demand for gold from China is absolutely booming and everywhere else in the world. So yeah, tremendous addition to the team. And I know Enrique and I are really excited to welcome him back and taking him back to Brazil.
Excellent, and best regards to Mario, who is actively watching the stream and commented in the chat. So great to have you here, Mario. Great to have you on board as well, of course. Perhaps back to the questions. We have a question from MKYT4DK. Is active work already underway to advance the Tres Barracas project? When is material from the Tres Barracas project expected to start feeding the processing plant? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let you, Enrique, answer. Great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, so just to let everybody know here, we are projecting a very conservative scenario here for Tres Barracas. When we are considering that in 10 months, the material from Tres Barracas will enter into the plant. This in relation to Jeremy's previous comment here, or the question that Jeremy was answering. The more capital that we have, the better we can process Tres Barracas and we can accelerate. But we can foresee that Tres Barracas material will start getting into the processing plant in at least maximum 10 months. It can be earlier. So because right now our main goal is just to get the production from Pilar, then Maria Lastra, that needs to be dewatered, while in parallel working on Tres Barracas. So if we can start having our staff working in the two streams in parallel, the sooner we will get the ore from Tres Barracas.
Stein, could you maybe just show that video again for the guys? Because I think it's a beautiful video that you and Lars shot. But it's hard to believe that little hill there has got at least 400,000 ounces just below it, with a strip ratio of only 2 on average life of mine, and only a couple of kilometers from the mill, with a decent grade of about 1.2, 1.3. But that little hill there, if you took that to Australia and said, I want to build an open pit project, you'd already get a 200 million valuation just for that hill. So it's a very special piece of ground there for us. It actually should have been developed many years ago by the previous owners, Yamana. They were planning to build it. Leah Gold, Brio Gold, and Equinox were planning to build this into an open pit. But it just looked, life happens when you're making other plans, right? So the market basically was very depressed, and they didn't produce this. And thank God they didn't turn this into an open pit, because it would now be mined out. And I think, Enrique, you and the team believe there's at least 400,000 ounces there, possibly even 1 million. And it's right next to the mill, open pittable, which is, really exciting.
Yeah, yes, indeed, Jeremy. Yes, indeed. It's just beautiful how to know that we can exploit this right next to the mill, these 400,000 ounces that are kind of a present for us, given the current market environment. We believe there's even more, but we prefer to stick just to the 400,000 ounces in Tres Barracas, and it's very amenable for the processing plant, just 3 kilometers away. It's just the cherry on top for a fantastic project.
Yeah, and it really can't be overstated how incredibly close by to the plant it was. I remember we were going, when we visited the mine, we were going to go to all the exploration targets around the Pilar mine, the hub and spoke model, and we were surprised. We arrived at Tres Barracas within minutes. It was incredibly close by. Bit of housekeeping for anyone watching. Please feel free to continue asking your questions in the chat box right next to the video. We'll try to get through them on a first come, first come basis. So that's going great. Best regards to Arne Luch, who's watching from Switzerland. We have a question from Feronson again. What independent technical studies support the production forecast, and when were they last updated?
The technical studies, you said, Stein. Oh yeah. So okay. So just for everybody watching, there is this mechanism that is regulated by the laws of Canada called the National Instrument 4311. It's the basic information report that every listed company or every mining company needs to provide to have a stated basis of information. Pilar Gold has one. It was done in 2021. This tells that Pilar Gold has more than 4 million ounces in the tenements without considering Cayamar. Okay, and the good thing about this 4311 is that there has not been significant mining since 2021 in Pilar Gold. So these ounces, they are still there, but they were valued at $1,650 the ounce, $1,700 the ounce. This means that when we update the 4311, which we are going to do it right now, and considering the current market environment, we will include Cayamar as well. We will be able to add easily, I would say, 2 additional million ounces to the current 4 million base. That's just value extraction without doing anything technical. We won't get into the mine to extract this value. It's just a matter of revalue what we have, and I think our shareholders and the market they are going to love it.
Stein, maybe also in addition to that question, it's probably worth knowing that this mine was running very well up until March 24, and it only really shut because we just had a mixture of bad luck and nothing technical, nothing wrong with the business, nothing wrong with the resource, nothing wrong with the mill. So it's been running for 12 years. And you can see there when we had some problems that we just ran out of capital. And those white boxes were only running at basically 50% of potential capacity. So when we put money to work, when we put capital, fleet, there's no reason we can't be above 70,000 ounces achieved in 72,000 achieved in that yellow left bar there in 2017. So very well understood mine. And the beauty of the Pilar number 1 mine is it dips at 20 degrees. It's about 2.5 million ounces of those 4 million that I think, or even more actually, that Enrique talked about. And it literally just keeps running. And I guarantee you, somewhere in Victoria, Australia, probably in Ballarat, it pops its head out on the other side of the world. It goes forever. So it's one of those, and we know that because Anglo Gold's Cretias mine, that's now owned by Aura Minerals, that's been running for 40 years. It's at a depth of 1.2 kilometers. Pilar's deepest point, I think, is 320 meters. It's a mine that will run for 40 years. And I just put the question out there, how many operations do you know that will run for 40 years? If you go to WA, lots of these open pits run out after 5 years. If you go to West Africa, if they haven't taken it away from you after 5 years, you might be lucky to get 10 years. So this is a very special mine that will just keep giving and keep going. And it's one of the reasons we're so proud that the team are coming back and why we're getting an incredible response from all of our old staff to come back. And I was really touched by, like, Marceli's come back. She was our head of procurement, Marceli de Silva. Her girls, Barbara, Luis and Anna Cecilia, they're only 13 and 9 years old, and their mum was sort of slapping out to PA Gold and Aura Minerals for 3 or 4 weeks of the month, and never seeing her girls. I see Juliana Katrine and young Tiago's, now loving the fact that she's back with every night, at home. So this Sitapasi district and the township of Pilar de Goiás will be really massively benefiting from the restart of the mine. And it's a mine, as I said, it will go for many decades, and such an exciting future for the district in Goiás.
Thank you for the overview there, Jeremy. Next question, perhaps for Enrique from Steve Francis. Are you waiting on any permits or approvals?
From the authorities, you mean, Stein?
Yeah, permits and approvals from the authorities, anything needed to restart the mine.
Well, okay, so I think I already introduced the topic here. In terms of for Pilar Mine, we are currently reconditioning some of the refuge chambers in the mine. This is because A&M, the mining authority from Brazil, is asking about that. So we are currently doing that, plus some geotechnical ventilation reports that the mining authority needs to ensure that the return to production is safe. It's just a bureaucratic process. It shouldn't be taking more than longer than August. Okay, so that's one thing. And also on the tailings dam, we have our license in place. It's currently embargoed because we need to deliver some additional technical reports, monitoring reports. Again, we have our third-party contractors currently doing the reports, so it should be okay as well. And apart from that, there shouldn't be any problem with permitting or licensing. And Stein, allow me to say that Brazil is one of the toughest places in the world about regulations, and Pilar has never had a problem with complying with them. So I think we should be, again, as I said, once the equipment comes to PGDM, we should be okay with both the mining and the tailings dams license. So we will start producing just in September, October.
That's a beautiful picture there, Stein, and you keep running it, because that we literally just completed the lift prior to closing the mine. Unfortunately, in March of 24. So it's in really good shape to continue. If you actually, I don't know what the grade is there, but there's probably 200,000 or 300,000 ounces of contained gold in that tailings dam, and as prices go up and up and up, I guarantee you, the business of recovering tailings is going to become a big theme in our industry. I know Fulcrum Metals, a special shout out to the boys, Aidan and the boys at the team there. They're obviously leading that on the aim, but that's a beautiful dam. It's in mint condition. The other question we had was Satao, which we acquired through Finer, Stein, when we now we own most of Satao. We did lose the open pit about a year ago when we had our problems, but we're very confident of putting all that back together as well. But that's 200 kilometers away from the mill, and no real near-term ounces will come from Satao. So at the moment, our total focus is PGDM. It's really to get all three or all four mines producing, and then really, see where it takes us. I mean, I said, Stein, that I really believe this is Enrique's chance to break from the pack. He's a young kid. He's done his time, long hours working. I think he's the next Rodrigo Barbosa from Aura Minerals. This is his potential. And I tell you what, when there's Satao, what a beautiful mine that is. Was the highest grading gold mine in the world for a couple of years. We own most of it, but we've just lost that little bit there for now, and we're talking with the current owners to get it back. So, yeah, I think one of the most really exciting things for me was when we went back to Tucano mine 3 weeks ago, and up in Amapá in the northern state of Brazil, and that gave us enormous really energy and excitement that we can do exactly the same at Pilar now, because Tucano is turning into what I think will be probably one of the most exciting new gold names listing on the TSX this year as Amapá Minerals. And our shareholders from that company will do very well. And now we just want to repeat that same success at Pilar. The beauty of Pilar, one of the great things about underground mining is you don't have pushbacks that you have with open pits. So with Pilar, there's very limited ore development. So the cost structure is very steady eddy. And I think, Enrique, your all-in sustaining cost for the undergrounds, you said it's about 1,800 in the current model, and 1,500 for Tres Barracas for the open pit. So the margins, what are those margins, Enrique? Did you work out just at today's gold price when it's running?
At today's gold price, the margins for the, I think I can even have a look here to provide the.
Enrique, we actually also got a question on this from MattPaul7074. What is the all-in sustaining cost currently, and what can be done to reduce it? So perhaps you can, shortly talk about a overview of how we should think about all-in sustaining cost during the first month of ramp-up towards steady-state production, and how you're thinking about all-in sustaining costs throughout the life of mine.
Okay, Stein. Yeah, So I will answer Jeremy. Jeremy, we are projecting at $4,000 the ounce, a profit margin of 60%. Okay, and Stein. So about the cost structure, and it's very interesting this one. Okay, of course we would expect, as we were saying, an $1,800 the ounce as a cash cost for the underground mines, and 1,500 for the open pit. One of the main drivers, for example, for the open pit cost being that low is that we have Tres Buracos just besides the plant, right? It's really decreasing our cash costs. In the case of the underground mines, both Pilar and Maria Lazara, Pilar is right next to the mill, to the mill. I think you can even see it in this video right now. There's the plant, and then Pilar mine is just on the right. And one of the ways that we are expecting to decrease the cost time, for example, is for the treatment of the tailings. We are exploring the implementation of dry stacking to both get more capacity for the tailings themselves, to extract more gold. Also, right now we have the opportunity, when we are not at 100% capacity, to redesign all of our procedures, to implement monitoring, new technologies, this fantastic equipment that Jeremy has helped us to acquire from our wonderful suppliers, JCHX and Dresden Sotrek. Just fantastic equipment, a very competitive price. Understand again, it's more about having the opportunity right now to shake the tree, see what is working right now, what is not working, redesign everything, and trying to extract as much value as we can for every single lever that we have. So that's the good thing of not being just a very solid, not moving company. We are in a time for change, and we for sure are going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, great. Stein, maybe show that video of the 307s we just purchased and are coming on the ship next week. I just wanted
Yeah,
to
sure.
show.
Jeremy, can
Yeah.
we just pause that for 1 second? We actually got a question on dry stack tailings, and I would love to dive a bit deeper into that. So I pulled up a video from Gold Road where you, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are employing that technology, dry stack tailings. So I would love for you guys to walk through what it actually is and how it could help you going forward to be environmentally compliant and reduce all sustaining costs. So Enrique?
Yeah, okay. I thought Jeremy was going to talk about Gold Road. Yeah, so basically, Stein, there's so many possibilities with that. First of all, when we talked about licensing, for example, in our tailings dam, we have already approved a new race, apart from the one that we did just prior to stop production. So that is already approved, but it comes with a cost. You can imagine that beautiful tailings dam that big, just a race of 1.5 meters, it would cost around $10 to $12 million, right? So if you introduce a technology that, first of all, allows you to retake the tailings dam that you have in the tailings dam, reprocess it, extract all of the water, and put it somewhere else. You free up capacity and you extract the gold, and you get more life of mine for your current forecast, right? So you're extracting value from the tailings that you have. You give more capacity for the tailings that you are going to get, and it's an even cleaner situation when you don't have to isolate a new area, building more tailings dam. You can imagine that the mining authority is going to be very, very happy because you wouldn't have to interfere with the nature.
So it sounds like a win-win-win. It's better for the environment, lower cost, and it would allow for a longer mine life without having to continuously expand the tailings dam.
That's exactly it, Stan. It's obvious I couldn't summarize it better than you, but yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it's just a matter of implementing the new technologies. We don't want to stop right there, but dry stacking, we have already seen the benefits of it. Jeremy maybe can explain a little bit more about that. But yes, we don't want to stop there. We want to implement all of the new capacities and possibilities right off the bat, starting with monitoring with equipment, the the dry stacking technology in order to get Pilar to the most efficient shape that could possibly be, and be a greener company from a ESG point of view, because we are all aware here of the licensing and how tough and how good are Brazilians looking after their nature and their landscapes.
Thank you for that overview. And Jeremy, apologies for cutting you off earlier. You wanted me to pull up a clip of the incoming equipment. Is that the loader, or did you want the drill rigs?
I'd love you to show some of the equipment we bought there, Stein. We just literally taken delivery of 2 brand new 307 LHDs from JCHX and Tempest. And I suspect we're going to order another 3 of these beautiful machines in a couple of months. And I just want a special shout out to thank Grace, Kevin, Sean for helping Richard Crew and our team get that done. They're fully paid for. And we have 3 existing Sandvik fleet that Israel and the boys have repaired. So these brand new ones are going to be very valuable for their startup. And look, aren't they just absolutely magnificent machines? So special thanks to Tempest and KCHX. The other big thank you is to James, Arthur, the team at Sotrec and Resamen in Peru and Brazil. We did order 3 new fan drills. I think Stein will show you what a fan drill is, but that's what drills into the upper walls and the side walls. This is a Raptor 45. So we've got 3 of these. One of which is actually for the slightly smaller dimensions of the mine, so one slightly smaller than that. And I tell you, if you try to order that from Sandvik today, that machine there would cost you probably 1.1 million euros and take nearly 9 months for delivery time. James and Arthur and the Resamen and Sotrec team have been fantastic. The cost, the Peruvian Resamen machine is at a substantial discount to Sandvik, but of equal, if not better quality. The lead time is also only 4 months. So we ordered those 2 months ago, and we're very excited to bring those and maybe show the jumbos. Those 2 jumbos we ordered, Stein. The jumbos at Sandvik would cost you 1.3 million euros. Delivery time nearly a year. So we didn't want to wait for that. We wanted to move quickly, and we love Sandvik. We'll keep working with Sandvik, but it's very important that we bring in these up-and-coming new rising stars of the underground mining industry. So special thanks to Resamen and Sotrec, and also JCSX and Tempest in China. There's a jumbo, a 2-arm jumbo. Yeah, we've got 3 of those Sandvik ones, but they're in pretty bad shape. And Israel asked, look, can we get some new equipment? And we've made that a massive priority as part of our fundraising to get Israel and the whole team new equipment. So we don't have the breakdowns that we used to have, and we have much higher reliability, because at 4,300 or 4,400 gold, that's time is money. And the last gold pour we did back in March of 24 was 2,000. So everyone's crying in there, about the sell-off in gold from 5,500 to 4,400. Well, we're super bullish gold. We think it'll be 7,000 by Christmas. This is a very important little shakeout of all the loose hands. So we want to, when this mine turns on in September, we don't want any breakdowns. We don't want any time off. We just want to go through it. And yeah, really amazing time for Pilar.
I fear you might just be right on that call, Jeremy, of close to $7,000 an ounce by the end of the year. So we have a question from Gunther Strubel. By when is the expansion of the mill planned? And of course, Jeremy, that is something you floated before with the Chancery Royalty chat. So perhaps you can talk about, plans to potentially expand the mill and how you're thinking about that over the next few years.
It's an absolute obvious one, and Gunther knows that. Look, I've just come from Takano, where it's 10,000 tons a day. Up at Liver in Finland, John's just put an application in to double the mill capacity from 6,000 to 12,000 tons a day, our beautiful Liver mine. Pilar's PGDM mine's 4,500. It's got 4 sources of different mine feed. there's no reason that shouldn't be 9,000, 10,000 tons a day and ramping production way over 120 to 150,000 ounces a year. Now, we've got to take steps, baby steps at the moment. We just want to get them producing, but that is an absolute no-brainer. And I think it's important to note that under the Chancery royalty, so there's a reason Pilar owns a third of what I think is the next Versamet, the next Elemental. This is the most exciting royalty gold silver company in the world. Is because Pilar has an 8% royalty payable to Chancery for 8 years, and then that drops away to 3% thereafter. But if Enrique and the team decide to expand the mill, any expansion above 4,500 tons a day will be royalty free. So they're massively incentivized to really go for it. And yeah, absolute no-brainer. But give us a bit of time and give Enrique time to get his feet under the table, and let's just get a few basics right first.
Great. Oh, Enrique, please go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that Jeremy, this is indeed fantastic, and this is something that we are considering. But I just want to tell the viewers here that what we are saying and planning right now is we are playing what we have right now. But apart from these 80,000 ounces per year as a long-term goal, we have the capacity to expand the mill, to count on additional funds again for Chancery royalty, and get Pilar to produce more than 100,000 ounces per year. But we are taking baby steps, as Jeremy said. Let's just focus on restarting production. That's achievable in the short term, 40,000, 80,000, and hopefully we will have a new conversation with Stein.
Yeah. Sounds exciting for sure, Enrique. So we got a question from Dat Chawin Lila Watt 62. Please confirm if Pilar has 4 mines is correct, and what is their expected life of mine for each of them. So Enrique, what I would love for you to do is to go through each of your mines that you have within the portfolio, and quickly walk through how you envision fitting that into the mine plan and what the life of mine of that mine would be.
Oh yeah. So just explaining here. Also, we have 3 underground mines. This is Pilar, Maria Lázara, and Cayamar, and Tres Buracos mine. This is the open project, the open pit project, right? So Pilar mine right now we are considering that it has 8 years of life of mine, but of course we all know that this is just subject to development. We prefer here just to stick to what we have in our National Instrument 43311. Of course, once we update it, we will know the renewed life of mine. Everybody should be aware that it's just a matter of updating reserves, and this is just a daily thing for mines to do. But right now, at the moment, it's 8 years, and the rest of them, Maria Lázara, Cayamar, and Tres Buracos, of course, because it has not been developed yet. We are expecting a life of mine of more than 10 years. So with that, I want to say that we can expect when we have 4 million ounces in our 43101, we can expect more than 40 years of life of mine. But I want to provide the viewers the actual data so they can confirm. But it is indeed very, very exciting, and I would tell them, I would ask them to also check the different mines in Brazil, how they are projecting their life of mine based on their reserves and resources, and they will see that we are in a fantastic situation.
Yeah, that's of course that difference between measured, indicated, and reserves that you're hinting at there, Enrique. Because of the different categories, you might not be able to include them into your mine plan, even though you're quite confident the ounces are there, or at least a discounted version of the ounces are there.
Stein, did you want to also let everyone know that we've grown our team at the moment on the investor relations side?
Sure.
Particularly in the US, our focus at the moment, a huge focus in the US. Look, we are talking with one group to list Pilar on the NASDAQ. It's early days. So look, we've got, Tucano's listing as a primary listing in Canada on the TSX. Svein and Nils are listing Gold Road in early July on the Oslo Bourse. Liver Gold lists next week on the 17th on the CSE in Canada. But America's a big focus for us. We want to grow, and just want a special shout out. Jennifer's also joined our team with Jamila, and just started this this week. So we're really honoured. There's Jennifer in the front there, and Jamila, amazing team. And just reach out if you're in the States. Please reach out to the girls. We're getting a tremendous response. A year ago, I think American investors were probably, for our group, less than 5% of our funds, but I think it's going to grow to 50%. And those Jamila and Jennifer are really a massive addition to our team, and they're based in Scottsdale, Arizona. They're also hosting a visit up to Gold Road with Fine and Neil soon. So if you're in that west coast of America, please come and join them and see Jim, Raj, and Alex and the team at Gold Road. But yeah, really happy that Jennifer's joined the team. We're growing really fast now, and Pilar's in a great place. Obviously, if you probably might be talking to Ed, Max, Eric, and now also Jamila as well, has been with us for 6 months, and now Jennifer. So very happy that she's part of the Pilar team. And yeah, just a lot of momentum, Stein, like huge momentum for what, 2 years ago, we were pretty much, we were lights out, right? And now we're just flying. So it's really exciting, and just tremendously exciting that you've got such a class act like Enrique to take over as CEO and really take it to the next level.
Certainly, and perhaps a good point to reference to the people watching. There's a link in the description where you can leave your information to, get in contact with the team and get further information on potentially participating in Pilar, as well as the emails of Ed and Max that I've put in the description, so you can reach out to them if you want to reach out. So we have a question from MattBall7074. What is the balance sheet looking like at the moment?
Very good, actually. Like going from a very bad situation to what is a very strong situation. Look, we put the company into judicial reorganization in late June of 24. That allowed us to restructure the balance sheet. It allowed us to negotiate with Equinox, because we still owed Equinox $23 million US as a final payment, and they very honorably reduced that to $3.5 million. Most of those debt payments are not due until years 4 to years 10. There are payments to our old staff of about $5 million US over the next 4 months, but that's all in good hand. But no, the balance sheet's in a great place, and we also own 6.2 million Liver shares. I think they come out the gates at least $2.50, and even at $2.50, I mean, Liver Gold's unbelievable story in Finland. I mean, there's 4 million ounces up there. I guarantee you there's 4 million. I think it's bigger than Rupert Resources that just got bought by Agnico. The only difference is Liver Gold has a world-class mill. So Pilar's a big shareholder of Liver Gold, and also a very important strategic shareholder of Chancery. Because I can guarantee you that the moment we list Chancery, we've got a target on our back, because Chancery is going to grow to 20,000 GEOs very quickly. We just did the beautiful Kefi deal, the Pilar deal, the Gold Road deal. What else have we got? We've got a couple of other royalties that are amazing, Buxton. So Pilar's really in a net cash position, not a net debt position. And that's thanks to the JR process. We couldn't be in a better place. So yeah, pretty excited. Like often you buy these assets and that's 6,000 tons a day up in Finland. And yeah, just best wishes to John, Sean, and the team at Liver. I know they're listing on the 17th of June. We spun that out of Pilar, so we gave all of our Pilar shareholders free shares in Liver 3 years ago. And at the time, I don't think anyone realised what that really meant. And now they're super valuable. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pilar probably next year spins out this beautiful business also to shareholders. And so we're all about adding value and creating value for our shareholders. So yeah, in a great place, basically, is the answer to that question.
Appreciate that, Jeremy. So we have a question from Stefan. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Are there any indications at this moment about the IPO price of Pilar when going public?
Yeah, good question. Look, at the moment, we're valuing it at only 140 odd Canadian, 4 million ounces in the ground, potential to go to 80,000 ounces. It's all about Enrique and the team putting runs on the board, right? I mean, if you're producing 4,000 ounces a month, you're going to be bigger than Sarabi Gold. That's got a market cap of 600 million Canadian. well, probably not on for after Friday's sell-off, but 500, say. So in theory, we get at least a 3x before you consider the stakes in Chancery and Liber from the 30-cent round. Now, I know you're not allowed to say that, so it's you know, there's risks to everything we do. I mean, as an example, we do have form, at least I think we will be showing form very soon. I mean, the Liber, we did the Liber round at 50 cents and 80 cents. I think that stock lists at least 250. We did the Tucano rounds at 50 cents and 70 cents. I'm sure she'll come out the gates at $3 in July. What's that? That's like a 5 or 6x. Gold Road, we did the round at 50 cents. I'm sure Swine's going to get it well above $2 to $3 equivalent on the Norwegian exchange. So that's all 5 or 6, 7x type returns, and that's what we're all about. I mean, we did the Chancery round back in November at 50 cents. We're doing really good business now at $3. That's a 6x to the guys who came in on that. So I see this round in Pilar as like a seed round because of the way we priced it and because of the stakes that we have in Chancery and Libers. And we're all about giving big returns to our investors. And that's one of the reasons we have over 2,500 shareholders in our 6 companies, and why we're growing and why we're hiring amazing people like Jennifer and Jamila to run our US business that didn't even exist a year ago, right? It was just basically Eric. And so it was just basically Ed and I and Max. And then we hired Eric, who's now Old Gold and doing a great job over in the Asian market. So yeah, just couldn't be more happy the way the business is growing, and getting talent like Enrique to come on is brilliant as well.
Gentlemen, how are we doing on time? We have quite a few questions to still go through. Are you happy to continue for a bit longer?
Yeah, sure, no problem. People can always log off, can't they? So
excellent. Yeah, certainly. Enrique, we have another question regarding the mineral reserve estimates. What do they demonstrate? And maybe I could talk about average grade for a second.
Oh yeah. So basically, as you are showing it here, it's Pilar and Maria Lázara with 1 and 1.4 grams per ton, right? Cayamar, even that it's farther, it's a better grade mine, different methodology as well. It's 3.5 grams per ton, and Tres Buracos as an open pit having 1.0, 1.2 grams per ton, but with the lowest strip ratio, and being right next to the mill, it's a beautiful project. Again, we are updating right now the 43311. I hope that we can provide better information soon enough and with better categorization. But we can expect to have more than 4 million ounces and dramatically increase our reserves.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a question from Arne Luch. Please provide an outlook for possible future dividend strategy. Should be no surprise to have this question from me.
The strategy, you mean the mining strategy, production, or listing?
He was asking for future dividend strategy. So from a
dividend.
Level.
Okay, yeah. So we are, of course, are keen to provide dividend. First of all, we need to generate the cash flow. I think we should use as a very good example Chancery royalty right now, when we are also promising a strict dividend, 50% dividend policy right here. We can expect that for Pilar in the future. But of course, we need to get the money to production first to start generating the cash flow to better balance all of our sources of capital tools, to say that. And after that, of course, there wouldn't be no obstacle for us to go listing and, of course, to start drafting the dividend policy here. But as Jeremy said, there's been it's been a huge trip, an odyssey here. Just remembering that this Odyssey movie is about to be released, so I was thinking of Pilar myself, and we want to give it back to our shareholders. So I hope that we can provide more information soon, but there shouldn't be no obstacle, at least from our side.
One thing for sure, Stein, is we're not going to blow our brains out on some huge drill program, because all these ore bodies have been drilled out already, right? So I know a lot of guys, they take the temptation to, let's go and drill it out, let's go and buy more stuff. We're all about returning capital to shareholders. part of the reason I think why we always separated our companies is to keep everyone separate. We're not about empire building. We're all about delivery returns. Everyone's a big shareholder in the management team. Everyone wants steady checks coming in on dividends, and let's watch that space. And obviously, you do need the market to keep going in the right direction, also. But hey, at 40, even at 4,400 gold or wherever it is today, that's 43 what it was. I mean, that's a seriously high margin business, and not a huge capital outlay going forward. So I think it's a great question.
So no real exact guidance you can give right now for percentages you're thinking of, for example, on an EPS basis?
Let's wait. Let's get some runs on the board, as Enrique said. Let's really, have some good quarters, and but we're very focused on that. And just one step at a time. But there is so much potential with Pilar. It's just amazing. Just the size, the scale. It's an amazing part of Brazil. It's not far from Sao Paulo. It's very easy to get to. It's a beautiful place to live. Like, I was up at Tucano. I love Tucano in Amapá, but it's a tough place to get to, right? You got to go all the way to Sao Paulo, then 5 hours up to Macapá, 4 hours into the rainforest in the Amazon. It's tough, but here it's a beautiful place to operate. Everyone wants to live in the Goiás. It's one of the greatest states of Brazil. Amazing people. So yeah, very, very lucky.
Yeah, there's of course so much development and growth potential with Pilar. Makes complete sense. We have a very interesting question from Be Happy Please 11. In my opinion, he's saying, or she is saying, there's going to be a monumental global shortage of fuel in the coming months. What measures have you taken to continue mining for what is almost guaranteed to happen? Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so it was a he.
Excellent question, Kevin. I think might be in Thailand right now. Amazing supporter is Kevin. I love Kevin, man of his word. The beauty of underground mining is it's not diesel intensive as it is versus open pit. So, and Brazil is relatively hedged in terms of refined capacity on the diesel front. But I think it's a very interesting question, particularly for places like Australia, which is a very big open pit operation business with the iron ore, with all these open pits. They're not self-sufficient like the Brazilians. The Australians didn't think as far ahead like the Brazilians do, and I think it's a big issue for the mining industry. It could actually create a lot of issues for supply. Even the sulfuric acid story, where that's affecting the silver production, because copper and all these others need sulfuric acid as a byproduct of silver. So yeah, great question, Kevin, and but it won't really affect Pilar because we've got it's an underground business that's not a diesel intensive as open pit.
How is Brazil actually on the energy side? Are they a net energy exporter?
All I know is when I was when we were filling up our car the other day in the Amazon, we paid 8.2 reals a litre, and I think in Goiás it's like 7.6, and a year ago it was like 6.9. So they are self-sufficient, and then 99% hydro, I believe, for electricity. So they're in a pretty good place. Brazil, look, there's a reason why Brazil is the greatest country in South America. No disrespect to Enrique's Spanish cousins and all that surround Brazil, but Brazil is the greatest country in South America, and they're very blessed with natural resources, and they do manage it very well.
Yeah, I just looked it up very quickly. Brazil is a net energy exporter, and they produce a lot of offshore crude oil, specifically the heavy crude type, which is of course used to produce diesel and gas fuel. So seems relatively unlikely for there to be shortages. Of course, you will be affected by global markets in pricing, but unlikely to have shortages. We have a question from MKYT4DK. Will the Sutao project play a significant role for Pilar Gold in the coming years? What are the plans for Sutao? Thank you.
Sutao is a very emotional subject for me. It's the first mine we ever bought in Brazil back in 19. We did lose the open pit recently, about a year ago, because we didn't, when we went through our problems, but we kept the extension, which is like 90% of the gold. It was the richest gold mine in the world. Troy Resources was pulling out 29 gram feed open pit for 3 years in that little hole there. It's hard to believe. But yeah, I'm confident we'll consolidate the two tenements back together. And I am pretty pragmatic because like 2 years ago, we were on the verge of pretty tough times, losing everything. And if the only thing we lost there was this little paddock here, then God's looking down on us in a positive way. But we know the owner well, and we're good friends with them, and would like to put it all back together again when the time's right. But at the moment, you won't produce any gold from there for 3 or 4 years. And the obvious thing is to truck it to our mill. But yeah, world-class deposit. We own most of it as the extension. And yeah, that's a beautiful part of that Goiás and Goiás Velo. So I'm sure things will work out well there, but it doesn't really affect the valuation really near term for Pilar.
Yeah, and of course on the extension, that's where most of the value would be it going underground. So you would still be able to access that even if you're not able to consolidate the land. We have a question from Dom Frodo. What kind of production do you have in the different mines companies now? What kind of production do you expect in the different companies by the end of 2026 or the end of 2027?
Yeah, well, look, we bought all 4 of these mines and it's really thanks to the amazing support of our shareholders who backed us every time we bought a mine. The key to buying gold mines is to buy when no one wants them, right? And because the first mine we bought was a tiny mine when gold was $1,250. I didn't even tell my wife that I bought it because I knew she would be so upset. But then we bought Pilar at $1,700 gold. We paid effectively like 3 cents in the dollar for Pilar, and that's why there's so much upside for shareholders to come on now. We bought Liva, and that's 80,000 ounces. Liva we bought in 22 for about 5 cents in the dollar, and I know John's targeting 50,000 ounces, but the potential to go to 100,000 with an expansion is very real. We bought Tucano in November 23 for $3.7 million cash, and it came with 12 million cash. Can you believe that? And no one wanted it except us. And I remember when we bought it, everyone said we're completely mad. That's going to do 150,000 ounces, and it's already commissioned now. Ivan Truzzi, Renato, Renan, Shikama, Alex, all the team up there are incredible, and a tremendous success. And then obviously Gold Road's going to do about 20,000 ounces, but potentially 40,000 long term, and that's listing on the 1st of July, I believe, in Oslo. So we're very excited about those 4 mines, and obviously Pilar's the one that we're very, very focused on. And the beauty of bringing in management teams, so John Liva, Svein and Niels at Gold Road, Ivan and the team at Tucano, is it allows us to funnel all of our focus now in Pilar and be 100% just that. That's it. That's all. It's all Enrique and I think about every minute of the day is making this a great success, because it's a very emotional thing for me, particularly because we came right at the edge, and now that's all we think about. And we just want to thank everyone again for giving us their support and allowing us to do what we're doing now and turning Pilar into what's going to be just a phenomenal, just really so excited, a great success.
Excellent. Gentlemen, I've just 2 more questions. Would you mind if I quickly try to squeeze that in?
Of course, no problem.
Excellent. We have a question from SQ. What is Mr. Alvear's sound money journey? I know very little about him. What distinguishes him within the industry versus other CEOs in the sector? I live in the United States, is what he says.
Well, I would say that to start with, I would be far younger. That's a very distinguishable thing. But yeah, allow me this to say, I started working with Jeremy back in the day when we at Starboard were studying Tucano, and I was part of the team with the people that Jeremy has mentioned right now, with Ivan, Renato, Renan, etc. That really pushed towards the Starboard investing in Tucano when the market was not as good as it is, because we were forecasting this situation. We were believing, as we are believing now, that gold is going to go to 7,000, and we build this special relationship based on professionalism, alignment of ideas, and let's say a crazy optimism as well. Um, so that's how we we started out our relationship here. And about my journey itself, it's been mostly on financial institutions and private equity, coming from being more like sector agnostic to definitely focusing on mining, precious metals mining. And I believe this sector agnostic perspective has allowed me to just look at the details, not getting driven by feelings themselves, but just to drivers, levers, and red flags, and I believe that's what really attracted me to this opportunity right now. But of course, if there is any other question, I'm more than happy to answer them to any investor or shareholder that are here. I'm just open to that, and because I really believe that this project is fantastic, and we have the proper team to get it done.
Excellent, Enrique. Jeremy, I have, I think, a question for you. I've received communication from Mr. Baum on Chancery and Pilar. Can you do a part 2 and invite him next time?
Oh yes, funny. I was talking to Ed about that. Ed's our really the rock of our group. He's got a great bedside banner. He's a sensible one out of all of us, and he gets the job done. Super organized, and we'd love Ed to come on the show. He speaks Portuguese. He speaks Spanish. He's very understated, is our Ed, and he's been with us for 5 years, and we love the work he's doing. He really has transformed this group, along with Max, and then Eric joined, and now Jamila and Jennifer. So Ed, yeah, definitely should be on this call, and he's a regular visitor to Brazil, and a regular to PGDM as well. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Excellent. Certainly, Ed's been very great. And of course, Jeremy, can you remind everyone shortly how they can get in touch with Ed, yourself, Enrique, and anyone else in the team?
Yeah, just great. Just click on the more button down below and leave your name, email. If you'd like, leave your number. We'll give you a call. Yeah, as we said, we have Eric in Asia. We have Ed and Max and myself and Enrique in the European time zone, and Jamila and Jennifer in the US. So we're 24/7 pretty much. And we were very happy to jump on a call. And look, we have investors who've been in all 6 of our companies. And look at Nicola down in South London, amazing supporter. Charlie Morgan, Bath, I think he's on this call. Brendan from Newcastle in Australia. Kevin, a new entrant to our stories. I think he's in 3 of ours. I had drinks with Dave and Tim from Sheffield the other day. Huge supporters, but just amazing. I mean, Andrew in New York, in America. Just huge. There's so many names I'd love to. Lars, a huge supporter. All of these guys. There's 2,500 of you, and you've made the difference. And there's a lot of trust, right? Because you don't know us, and we're private, so you can't just go and sell us. And we're just, we're very focused on return to share of value to shareholders, because we know we only get one chance with you, and that has to work, and it has to work in spades. And we just feel we're going into a very sweet spot now, where we've got listings in Liver, Gold Road, Tucano, most likely Pure Tungsten, Chancery. We're announcing the Shell next week for Chancery. Pilar will be the last listing of the 6. So yeah, just leave it your name, and you'll get to know us. And no rush. Don't need to make a decision. You can talk to us for the next month. It's no problem. Don't worry. We're good at talking, and we're good at listening.
Excellent, Jeremy. We did get one more question from Gregorio. Where can we get Pilar and Chancery hats?
Oh yeah, I've been bugging Ed to run another print, because this one's an original from 2019, and Enrique's got the new version. I gave my last Pilar hat to Monaco 64, and I've been asking Ed to run a new set of hats for Chancery and for Pilar. So we'll definitely make a note, and very happy to send those out. I think Enrique's version is my favorite. It's the same version as we have for Chancery, which has got this sort of side. I like that color coding as well. So we make those in Goiânia, beautiful town in Goiás. I think we must be their best client because we've had 6 company hats made, and they always, what are you doing now, sort of thing. So yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for joining the live stream. Enrique, any final words from your side before we head off?
Oh yeah, well, first of all, thank you to all of the viewers for sharing their time with us. I hope that we've answered all of, or at least most of their questions. If there is any pending question, of course, as Jeremy said, please contact our IR team. Just reminding everyone that we are organizing an investor trip in July to PGDM. I will be there. I'm actually going there every month, so I'm more than happy for our investors to join, to meet us, to see the plant, to see the mine. Hopefully we can take them underground once the ventilation, the geotechnical works are finished. Yeah, so let's try and do that. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you want to do that. I mean, this is just 4 months away of getting into production. We're still working on the listing before year end. Thank you very much for your continued support, and hopefully we can deliver during these days.
Thank you very much, Enrique and Jeremy, for your time today, and thank you anyone for watching this live stream and this great interaction that we got, and hope you all have a great weekend. Bye for now.
Thanks, you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. We are now no longer live.